Welcome to Tubbie Talk, where a group of nerdy best friends hop online to talk about everything life, parenthood, gaming, and probably embarrass themselves. Let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome, and thanks for being here. I'm Kennedy, your host for today's episode, and I am here with the rest of the Tubbies. We've got Trevor.
What's up?
Sierra.
Hi.
And Denny.
Howdy.
So, before we get into today's episode, we have a couple of quick announcements to make. The first being, as you can see, hopefully, that we are officially recording our episodes on camera.
Yay!
And this is, the very first episode. But we're just very excited to bring you a more personable and interactive experience. So enjoy staring at our beautiful faces as we gab away. And guys, just keep the nose pickings to a minimum, if you please.
You already know,
Trevor,
I love it. You already know it's a guilty pleasure. Hey,
Callback.
Hey, throwback. What up?
But we'll be posting these recordings to our YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and watch us there if you desire. Secondly, we're going to save our life updates and our catch-ups for their own dedicated monthly episodes going forward. So it just allows us to dive into the juicy bits of the topics going forward, so you don't have to wait around. But these catch-up episodes are going to be shorter, super chill, laid back, and just a really good way for you to stay up to speed on all the crazy stuff that life throws our way. Unless anyone has anything else they need to add, we can go ahead and get started on today's episode.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cool. So today we're diving into probably one of the most important yet often overlooked topics in the journey of parenthood, and that is postpartum. So naturally, with the arrival of a baby, there's an abundance of love, joy, excitement, but the journey doesn't stop there. There's a whole nother side to the gig. And whether it's just mom or mom and her partner, everyone has their own unique postpartum journey that they go through when they have a kid. So whether you're a new mom in the thick of it, about to give birth, recently gave it, or you're someone supporting a mom, we're going to be sharing our personal stories, the raw truths behind postpartum, covering all the beautiful details, emotional, physical, mental challenges, you name it. We're going to shed light on the whole experience. So to kick us off, Danny and Sierra, you had your very first kiddo in July. So this was a brand spanking new experience for the both of you. Mm-hmm. So why don't you go ahead and enlighten us on what those first few days or even just the first couple weeks were like after birth?
Man.
Gosh, it's like, do I even really remember? Like, is what actually happened what I am going to remember? Probably not. I think I'll just say that there's kind of like almost two parallel things going on at the same time, because like you said, there's so much happiness and joy and all the things. And then there's also at the exact same time some of the lowest lows or like that you've maybe felt, or like the most intense emotions you've ever felt. And so it's definitely a roller coaster. Yeah, I think, Danny, what do you remember about, let's say, like the first week? What is your experience?
I mean, roller coasters is a great example because you are going on, up and down, left and right.
It's true. Like the moment you think things are going well, they're not. And you just have moments of like, oh, like I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. And then like something happens and you're like, oh, I'm still doing it, but I'm not killing it as much as I thought. So anyway,
Well, definitely not killing it, but like, we're doing, it's tough because you're right. Like the first, you have the baby, the first minutes, hours, you're like, oh my gosh, we did it. That happened. We're good, right? And you're like, oh, now we gotta keep it alive or take care of this thing, and then you jump into a whole next season and then you're like, okay, I got the hang of this next day or two, and then you're just like, oh no, maybe not. Maybe the baby's not gonna sleep. Maybe the baby's not gonna eat. Whatever the case is, So
Do you guys feel like that's you doing something different, or that's just the kid changing?
oh, it depends. I think you're right. Like sometimes it's you get the hang of it, and then the baby changes or grows or like decides they don't like that anymore, and then you're like, oh, cool.
Yep.
Like now I have to redo this all over again, specifically for us with sleeping arrangements, and that's a whole other thing. But like she would like one thing and then for like a week and then she wouldn't, and it's like that was the main thing where sleep is, I think, mostly the main thing for a lot of people. But we were like, oh, we're getting into a routine, and then all the hopes were dashed. So, but you just gotta adapt. You have to be flexible.
I've been told you should just sleep when the baby sleeps.
Yeah, that's all the time.
course.
You know what? I love my midwife so much because she was like, yeah, they're gonna tell you that, but you're not gonna want to sleep. Like you're gonna want to sleep more than anything in the world, but you're also gonna want to like just scroll on your phone or like do something that you used to do, or like, oh, you
It's
have a
so
moment
true.
to yourself. Like, oh my gosh, like how could I sleep for this?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Then you regret it later. Yeah. So anyway,
I mean, I do think because I heard a lot of, oh, just the first couple weeks are the hardest, and I'm not going to disagree with that, but it always just made me think. It kind of like set the expectation of be prepared. Like you're going out to almost like boot camp. Baby boot camp is what you're preparing for, and you got to do the army crawl through the dirty diapers and survive on 0 hours of sleep, which is what I honestly did for half the time. Was,
yeah,
like keeping an eye on the baby because it's stressful,
much.
like just making sure that they're breathing and stuff. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that was my like core memory for the first week. I would say it's just like, is she breathing? Because she, they don't really have much emotions besides just like crying, so they can't really like smile yet. So I think it was just like, is she breathing? Is she okay? Okay, I passed baby boot camp. Let's move on,
Did you guys swap off with the nights, or were you both up at the same time? I can't remember. Or did one sleep, and one watched?
It kind of varied, but mostly we would take shifts.
Good.
Like I would sleep and then
you were like what, 10 to 1, and then I was like 1 to 4.
yeah, I preferred to stay up later because I hate like napping at all in general. So I hate like waking up after I'm asleep. So there was one time where I was just like, I'm gonna let Danny have a full night's sleep, and then the next day he's gonna be so happy. And like he didn't even notice. Like I stayed up all night. And then I expected him to be like, "Oh, thank you. I feel amazing." He's like, "No, I don't. I just don't sleep good anymore no matter what. Like I'm always just thinking about her." I was like, "Great." I just stayed up for like 7 hours straight. I watched like 3 Harry Potter movies that night, just through the night.
Gosh.
And I was sobbing at all my emotions, postpartum emotions were still like in full effect. So I was like, I can't look at these movies the same ever again. Like I was just crying. Like it was such a weird night,
So
but
funny.
you didn't even care. So then I was like, well, I might as well sleep. So
I mean, I do agree. Like, I got through a lot of different things. I watched like almost all of the House of Dragons. Yeah.
So did I, separately from him.
Awesome.
Oh, so was it about what you guys anticipated, or did it hit you just kind of out of left field?
I don't know. To be honest, a lot of people make it sound so bad that I was like, yeah, of course it's going to be hard, but like you're not working, you have nothing else to do. So it's challenging in ways, but it's the only thing you are doing. So it's not like I personally didn't struggle like that bad. Like I wasn't like hating my life at all. Like I was
Nice.
happy for sure. So I know some people it's really, really hard. And I feel like for me it wasn't like that hard.
Awesome.
Personally. But yeah. I'm excited to hear your guys' thoughts though, because you've done it twice.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Do we want to bounce it over to you?
Yeah, we can. We can just kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the first one was over 2 years ago. And all I remember with that one in the first few days was, gosh, just panic and survival. Like, I still remember, like Trevor said, I just woke up one night and was like, is he breathing? Or like, no, what was I? I'm so stressed. And then I just like passed out, went back to sleep, or I'm so scared.
Shot straight
That's
up.
so
It was
relatable.
I'm so stressed. She shot straight up, and I don't know how many weeks or what it was. I was so stressed, and then just laid right back down and fell asleep. It wasn't. There was
Amazing.
no checking the kid. It was not looking at me. She just sat up, had a moment
Just
of
had to
realization.
express yourself in that moment.
Yeah, get those emotions out.
Yeah, and then just laid back down, went back to sleep. I was like shook. I was like,
You're like,
whoa. Maybe it's me
well?
that's stressing her out. Maybe.
Oh,
She didn't even know she
gosh.
did it in the morning. It was great.
Yeah.
So funny.
No, then what else I remember? Obviously, yeah, just binge watching. It was the first season of Critical Role, their animated series,
Oh yeah.
and like our baby had bad reflux at the time too. So it was like after nursing, he had to be held upright for a long time. So I was getting like no sleep on top of like
no.
already normal not getting sleep.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, I've forgotten a lot of the postpartum. And in a good way, I remember the positives because I remember like a few weeks in, I would go on walks early in the morning with him. So, and that was like just a moment that we had just going for a walk in nature. And that was nice. That's it. I don't remember. I'm sure it was hard. And I think it was always hard in like the loss of sleep sense.
It was the first kid was like really frightening to like raise in postpartum. Like I noticed for the second one I have relaxed a little bit. I don't check the breathing quite as much. I still need to check it, but not nearly quite as much. But like I think it was like a weekend. It was Kennedy was gonna go take like a shower, and so like it was just me, and it was like late. It was like I gotta say like 11 o'clock at night, maybe later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like it was like you're like I need to go take a shower. I'm like okay, you're
Totally
right.
haven't.
I have to shower right now.
And so I just remember being on like our rocking chair, like holding him like upright on like my shoulder, and like I was fighting for my life to stay awake. Like I was dozing off. Like
that's so scary.
and I'm like slapping myself to try to stay awake. Like
gosh.
it was one of the
The truth
scariest
comes
moments.
out.
It was one of the scariest moments trying to stay awake just in like I
Oh
couldn't
my
stand. I
God.
was so tired. But you don't
truth
sleep.
comes
You just don't sleep. Like it just doesn't happen. So like
Oh.
with the newer one here, speaking of like watching things, I watched for the first time the new Planet of the Apes movies. So that's what kept me up late at night because I would take the first shift, go for just as long as possible. And yeah. And then I even like before the birth, I stocked up on like energy drinks and like teas and coffee.
Amazing.
So like I
Yeah.
had fuel to stay up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's like
funny.
yeah, there was that, and then I don't know what else. I think in the first one I played Elden Ring a little bit. I also played a ton of Pokemon Scarlet. I beat that one.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was just whatever I could to distract myself. The problem with the second one, if we're talking about that right now, is we also have a toddler, and so it was more. Kenny did a lot, or is still doing a lot more for a younger one because I have to get up and take care of the older one when he wakes up throughout the night. So
Yeah.
that's the trouble. Like where the first one you're just so scared of like breathing, diaper changes, and like you're not familiar with it that great yet. And like the oldest one would pee anytime like you change his diaper and it air touched down there. It was like freedom. So like
I
middle of
Got
the
it.
night, every time you
Yeah.
change the diaper, you'd have to watch for pee, like you were dodging bullets.
What? I've never heard
Yeah.
of that. That's
And
so
the second one
interesting.
just doesn't even have it at all. Like it's just
Rare.
I'm
So then
like,
when it happens, it's like, oh my gosh, this doesn't happen.
yeah. But yeah, that's a problem. That's a
That's
fun thing with
so
boys is
funny.
they'll pee all over
Yeah.
you. I've been peed on before so many times. The wall was peed on. It just went, he peed on
Mhm.
himself because it would arc and just hit him right back in the face. And you're like,
Oh,
come on,
poor
no, dude.
baby.
Yeah. And so I think
Dang.
Oh my gosh.
I think we're built to forget so that you want to have more kids,
Mhm.
Yes.
honestly. And maybe that's just
Yes.
sleep deprivation also helping and assisting with that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember a whole lot either.
That's literally a thing when it comes to like birth is
Mhm.
you genuinely forget the pain, like physically. So
Yeah.
maybe it's the same postpartum.
I think it might be a little, but we definitely went into this second kid more readily planned. Like we meal prepped, like stocked up on supplements, and just really tried to set ourselves up for success. So it almost took a more, like, really just focus on fueling our bodies so that we could get through the long nights, or I could, not be depleted of essential nutrients since baby takes so much. And I think that was like a huge game changer. But this round, the second time through, because I didn't really have any strong emotions with the first one, but this one I did. And it was in the sense I've never been aware of the passage of time so much. And it was like so heartbreaking to see just our oldest like grew up so fast in the blink of an eye because we had a newborn to compare him to.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was just, they're growing up so fast and he's not going to be a baby for much longer. And just going through the throes of that, just accepting that it goes way too fast and just really understanding when everyone says to soak it in, like it really hit this time, like really soak it in.
Yeah.
And it was also hard in the sense with the first one, I was super active afterwards, even though I had more trauma to heal from. This time, like the birth went great, so I didn't really have much to heal. But my midwife really wanted me to just sit in bed and just essentially finish healing internally. And it was, at first when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'll just get a lounge in bed and just snuggle with baby. It's going to be a great time. But it really hit me from left field. I don't even know why it was so hard, but just being in bed for so long and not being, out doing chores or with my family or going on walks, it made it really hard. But so that was.
Did you ever think like maybe like I don't know, like you were really, really committed to that? Like you were like, oh, this will be worth it, even though I'm like hating the experience. Okay.
Yeah, because it's the size. I think a lot of people have heard it. It's your wound is like the size of a dinner plate. So it's a big wound.
Yes.
And I had heard during the second pregnancy all the time, like the 5 days in bed, 5 days around bed, and then I think another 5 days like just outside of the bedroom or something. So going into it, I was, under the impression that this is a really healthy way of healing, regardless of what happened down there.
Right.
So I just wanted to come out as properly healed as possible. But I think the fact that I really didn't have trauma made it hard. I think if I had, stuff going on down south, I would have probably been more okay. But the fact I was like pretty close to normal, as much as you can be after giving birth, it made that harder. Yeah, so it was just a very interesting postpartum. It was hard on that emotional sense, and I just missed just going to the park to walk, and I just wasn't anticipating it. but but then now even a part of me feels guilty that I had those emotions because, well, I did have a lot of time spent with baby. It again went even faster than the first time. And it's like, gosh, if I had just like not felt those emotions, I could have been even more present. So in a way, I'd almost say this postpartum was harder just on the emotional sense. I didn't think I was going to get hit with emotions, but yeah, because the healing went well and I just made sure I was taking and still should be taking, I've just fallen out of it, a ton of supplements.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor can attest. I had him get me some one night and it was like 13 different pills.
Oh my
She had
gosh.
like a
Wow.
list. I was
That's
like,
crazy.
you need
Mhm.
5 of these one kind of pills? Like, are you
Yeah,
sure
some
this is
supplements are like that. You're like, oh my God.
Mhm. Yeah, it was like, I think 6 beef organ supplements and like 2 or 3 collagen and like 3 omega, vitamin D. I took a lactation one just to make sure I was good. And I could have taken
Just
more.
throw it in
There's like
there.
even more. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly.
I know.
And you could take more. It's insane.
one thing you didn't touch on? I think part of the reason you were emotional is because the eldest one you didn't get to see as much either because you were locked away in the room. So I would be out kind of taking care of
I know,
him.
but you guys would come visit. But I think it was just, yeah, I just wanted to be around you guys all the time. Like we didn't
Yeah.
always share dinners. Like I'd eat in my room or our
Mm.
room, but it kind of became my
Yeah.
room. And they were out on the table, and I would hear them playing or going outside. And it was like when we had a guest, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sneak out to the couch when I shouldn't be.
I get to see the couch. Yes.
Yeah.
What a glorious day.
Oh,
That's funny.
Which she wasn't supposed to, and I had to yell at her.
no. And I got grief for it.
Yep.
Interesting. I did not do that. My midwife told me the same thing, and I was like, no. Um, so, and I don't know, maybe I should have, but I also, I don't know, like I healed well, and yeah, I just like don't know why I just didn't take it that seriously. Maybe I should have, but I just didn't, and I was pit-pattering around pretty much like the same day or the next day, like just walking around and doing stuff, but obviously taking it very slow. But
Nothing
yeah,
crazy either.
I was gonna ask, yeah, Danny, how did you feel about that? Were you like, if you feel good, you're good, or were you like, sit down,
I mean,
heal?
as long as there wasn't anything like, going on in pain wise, and she was, doing it like, like a sloth, like nothing too crazy, fast pace or no like freaking acrobatic movements.
I mean, I did sit down on the couch a lot. Like I would stay there while the baby slept on me like all day, and but for me, even that was hard, like mentally, because even up until like pretty much the day I gave birth, like I was super active in pregnancy and not like working out or anything as much, but like
But just
I was
moving around.
I was
Well, you were
going on
walking a
walks
lot,
like every day, like
like long walks.
and like long, like an hour or more, and like just like because I just wanted to have a healthy birth. Like
Yeah.
my whole mind was just focused on giving birth. Like I did not think too much into afterward. Like I thought, okay, I'll have some food, I have comfy clothes, I have all the supplies like for healing and stuff, but I wasn't thinking about mentally or really like healing physically that much. I was just like, I need to give birth naturally. Like that was just my only goal. And then I did it, and then I was like, oh, what do I do now? And so yeah, I wasn't really prepared for just the emotional side of it. Like it's not like I was like struggling. I just like felt so much
Yes.
like I would just be like staring at her and just like so overwhelmed with emotion and just crying. It's just so weird. So I don't know, but yeah, I think if I were to do it again, I would definitely prep more physically and mentally for the postpartum period, because I was just like, I'll figure it out when I get there.
Danny, how was your recovery?
My recovery was great. I gained like 10 pounds and
Oh, no. Love it.
no,
Oh man.
I think the hardest part about the whole thing for me in just terms of like the recovery was, I mean, similar to what Kenya was saying, is it's kind of like the very first period is kind of like a little bit like splintering of the family because like the mom has to deal with the baby a lot, and like I can't like, like the baby's not smiling yet, so I'm not like hanging out with it, I'm like obviously holding her and like skin to skin and all that, but like besides that, like they need to sleep most of the time by themselves. Like it was easy for me to like wake her up by like rolling over and stuff. So there was a lot of time spent alone between like just like staying up different schedules to make sure we each got sleep. So I think it was
Yeah.
interesting. Like that's what I didn't expect. I pictured like have a baby, you guys go together as a family, right? But like it was very much like in order to survive, like we had to like tag team a lot of different things, and I was like, wow, like, that's not what I was expecting. And I mean, we had meal trains and we were meal prepped to like, a certain extent, so it's like I can't imagine like people who haven't prepared for like food and stuff like that's just having to do chores on top of that, like that's brutal. So I really do
Yeah.
think that it was a little bit of a reality check for me, but that's what hit me the hardest. And then obviously I wasn't able to go anywhere, so me eating as much as I did a little bit of
Well, that's the thing is like our baby, like I was also so excited to go on walks. Like that was just something I was just like, I can't wait. It's just so cute and wholesome, and like you get to go
Yeah.
outside, and it was summer. It was really hot when she was born, so like just getting out of the house and stuff. And she hated it. She hated walking.
Oh.
She hated the car seat so much, and like whether it was in the car or in the stroller, like we would go, and I was like persistent. Like we would go still. Like I'd be like, no, we're gonna do it. We're gonna try because one of these days she's just gonna like it. And it's kind of what happened eventually. But so many times we would be walking around like the park or whatever, and like
beautiful
10
day.
minutes in, just
Oh.
and I'm like, no, like why? Sometimes like we would just keep going, and like
We tried to keep
we tried
going, but we didn't get
everything. We
very
tried
far.
carriers. We tried like those carriers that one that I had was just so annoying, and like so many clips and stuff. And I was just struggling at the park. The baby's screaming. People are walking by. Like Dan and I are yelling at each other. Like it was just so bad. And
Because people just look at you and are like, "What bad parents you are! Why are you
I
doing this to your
know.
baby?
Why is your
I'm
baby
just,
crying?
I'm just trying to go on a walk. Like that's all I want.
Why does the baby have a jacket on? Like,
Yeah, it's like it's 95 degrees. What do you mean?
It wasn't 95, but it was."
There were days that
Yeah.
anyway, but
Oh.
She didn't like the sun either, like in anywhere
well,
near
yeah,
her
like
face,
any
anywhere.
no one
So
likes
like,
the sun in their face.
no, I
So
know, but like it was like so it was
we
even
were
more
trying to
reason
like
why she hated
balance
walks.
our shadows to like block the sun. It was just a disaster,
It was
really.
bad enough to the point where, because the midwife said, "Hey, you guys need to make sure she's getting some sun." We said, "Okay," and like nothing was working with the walking. So in order to get like a decent sun exposure time, we would take her up on the top of the parking structure and just sit in the car with.
Which honestly are some of the best memories, like because again, those are like the first moments that we would be able to like talk to each other and like debrief the night or whatever, and like we would just be up there at like that was the only semblance of any sort of routine, is every morning we would go outside and do our sun time, and it was actually kind of nice, but also like there were some times where it was like I was just so tired, but
Our
yeah,
debriefing
those are
was,
some
"How did you
memories
sleep?
that
How did you sleep? Ugh."
how are you doing? I don't think we can do this. But very sweet memories when I look back on it. What would you guys say? Sorry.
That's okay.
What would you guys
Oh no!
I'm so
Rock, paper,
sorry.
scissors.
No, you go.
Are
You
you
go.
sure?
Yep.
I took the "I'm sorry" as "you go," so that's why I
No,
tried again.
that's like so
I'm,
did I.
I'm
I'm
sorry
gonna
you
go.
interrupted me. I'm sorry. I was trying to go.
Okay, go ahead.
I remember like the blissful mornings of like when Kennedy would get up before me, and I didn't even realize she was getting up, and take the eldest one on a walk when when it was the first one. And so I just got to sleep in, man. I was like, this is nice.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I think after the first couple weeks, like I couldn't sleep in anymore. Like obviously I was really tired and like I would still nap whatever, but like a certain point when she became a little more like routine of like, okay, she sleeps around 3 to 4 hours, 3 hours more like it. But like I was like, okay, she's probably gonna be up now. Like I just routinely woke up. It was crazy. It sucks, but it was like that for like
I
months.
can't believe that. Like, I remember you just saying that is like, she only slept for 3 hours at a time. Like, that's wild.
2 hours that's to start, but yeah.
You just forget like
Oh man,
how that is.
Did you have to hold your kid like the entire time? Because
Okay, yes, for a while until we started doing different things, trying different things. But for so long, yeah, she would just sleep on us.
Did any of those different things work? Because I don't.
Not for the first while. We did try. I thought I was doing something
asking
wrong.
for a friend.
Like that was the worst. Like because I was like. Also, I'll just insert right here. One of my good friends also had a baby like exactly at the same time, so it was really hard not to compare, like not to be like, oh, like is she? Oh, their baby's like sleeping without being held, like that means I'm doing something wrong. Like, so we would buy we bought different, I think like 2 different types of bassinets. We tried, I know controversial, but like tried co-sleeping safely. Like all the different things, and yeah, like for a while none of them did work, and it was just sitting in the chair, and that's why we had to take turns because one of us had to stay up. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was really emotionally hard, like being like,
wow,
what, like I felt like I wasn't an actual mom yet, like I was just like, I'm not even doing it right. Like that was not fun.
That's got to be like one of the worst things to do, is to compare yourself to other
It's
parents.
so hard because I think you're in such a desperate state to make something work a little bit, and then the second you see it working for someone else, it's hard to not immediately go into, well, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, what are they using? How can I do the same?
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't matter. Like we bought the exact same bassinet and our baby didn't like it and their baby did. And so it's like, yeah, but you just can't compare yourself because it's eventually you'll be fine.
Yes.
There's just, I mean, and it's different for every baby, right? Like our baby fed really well. Like she immediately latched, no issues there. And some people, that's their biggest struggle, and so they can look at us and be like, oh, they're doing amazing, and it's like, I mean, yeah, in that area maybe, but like there's other things, so you only see people's good highlight reel, as they say.
Well, that's what you post, or like what you talk about. You're only going to talk about the good stuff, and honestly, if you talk about the bad stuff, Facebook or wherever will just take it down. Oh, you can't share that, that's too dark. Go away.
Too dark.
Which may be a good thing, but I think that's the biggest thing to keep in mind with that is you're only going to see the good stuff on social media. No one's going to post on there them staying up all night holding a kid watching Planet of the Apes on repeat. And they were not even good movies. Let me just say they were not. The first one and second one were decent, and then after that I'm like, this is awful. And I'm not talking about the old ones. No, I never got to the old ones. I was tempted, but by that time we had to switch up our kind of a routine.
What's the phrase?
Apes
together,
strong.
Together strong. Trevor,
oh,
right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Apparently, you didn't watch it on repeat enough.
No, you were tired. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
And I was wide awake. I was wired off those energy drinks.
I will say, watching House of the Dragon after just giving birth, there's so much birth in that show, like and death, and like when you're emotional and have just experienced birth, I would not recommend. It's like not
I think we stopped watching, and not because of that scene, but like literally after that episode of what I think you're talking about referring to, because it just was, one, it wasn't entertaining, and two, it's like I don't know.
It made the experience of watching it like a little bit almost
Mhm.
better because I was like, okay, like I can picture what that would be like. Like that is
Yeah.
insane. Like this show is crazy. Like how can anybody watch this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely entertaining.
I just watched it for it's for like the action. That's what just keep me awake.
Yep.
Like I need like dragons
Mm.
blowing stuff up in order to keep me awake in the middle of the night.
Dragons blowing stuff up.
They got like their
I-
firecrackers out there. They're just like
Exactly.
M80s, like we're not gonna blow up this toy out there.
Oh man.
Little rockets going off.
Yeah.
I think something else I will just interject right now too is like when people give advice, so, like, and they mean so well, and I think take the advice, like receive it because it's good to hear everything and just like be prepared for everything. But there were a lot of times people would say like, "Oh, well, this is gonna happen," or "This is definitely gonna happen to you," and you're gonna be hating your life, and you're gonna be
Oh,
questioning why you
gosh.
had, or just like, oh, you're like your baby's gonna scream, and you're having to have no idea why, and it's like
Oh,
just
my.
because that happened to someone else doesn't mean it's necessarily gonna happen to you. Like, or something else that didn't happen to them could happen to you. So like
Yeah.
it's good to hear people's experiences and stories and stuff, but like no one is exactly the same. So if you're afraid of something happening and someone says, "Oh, that's going to happen," like it might not. Like
No.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I don't know. That was something interesting I experienced when I was pregnant, people being like, "This is definitely going to happen to you."
If you can share, what's the worst
Oh.
advice you got?
I can't remember the worst advice I got. I forgot about it because it was the worst advice I got. Like I was like,
You're
that's
like, throw
stupid.
that out.
All right, I'm just curious.
I will say, I mean, I think there's a lot of, and again, this is just like obviously people listening in 2025, but like just social media like knows you so well in terms of like I just became a dad. I never really got like ads for like anything baby, anything related. But like as soon as that happened, boom, like products, like just trying to get a quick sell. You know, obviously if you're tired parents, I mean, we even experienced it when we sold our bassinet, the snoo. The like mom who reached out was like, "I'm so desperate, like I need something, and I'm willing to make anything work." And like it's true, it's
Yeah.
like, and I remember just like seeing so many reels, you know, doom scrolling at like 3 in the morning of just like
Yeah.
try this, do this, and like some of the stuff is like dangerous stuff, and you're just like, that's probably some of the worst advice that I seen was like
Yeah.
Off reels.
just quick viral reels trying to like say you should do this with your baby, you know, when it's like, well, who are you to say, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, I can't recall an exact piece of bad advice, but I think there's a lot of advice that I didn't end up needing because, like I said, everyone is different. But did you guys get any sort of like specific bad advice?
I asked the question and I don't even know.
Did we even get advice?
I'm trying to think.
Like we were on our own.
I mean, you get the joke advice like put whiskey on their gums and stuff like it'll knock them right out. And
I got some funny advice. Someone told me to drink beer to have your milk come in.
that's like true.
Yep.
And she was like, it worked like a charm. And I
The
was like,
brewer's
I
yeast.
don't doubt you, but A, I can't have beer because it's gluten. And B, I'm just not going to do that right now. That's probably not great for my mental health and situation. But, you know, if you're desperate, I guess
It's an option.
They do make
Sure.
non-alcoholic
that's
if you
true.
are desperate.
Oh,
Gluten-free, non-alcoholic beer.
Delicious.
oh my goodness, what even is it at that point?
It's just
no
yeast.
yeast. Yeah, it's just
It's
just over there
just-
eating flour. Just
Oh,
Yeah.
flour doesn't have yeast in it, I guess.
I think not that we necessarily listen to it, but I just think the worst advice overall is anything, in my opinion, that goes against your motherly instinct.
Very good point.
Because it's that baby is also you, and you are just made. You two are made for each other. You just
Mhm.
understand and connect on just a cellular level. So you have the instincts to take care of that baby, and there's a lot of controversy out there that makes you doubt and question. And I think that's where a lot of moms can get confused, like, well, I don't know, like what my motherly instincts are saying. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. So I think with this postpartum, it was leaning into more like after the first few days of, yes, making sure the breathing's gonna blah, 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 just really kind of being a leaf in the water, just going with the ups and downs and just doing what felt right and just not rushing anything. So this second baby, super clingy, complete opposite of our first baby. And it's like, well, that's what he needs. And that's what I'm supposed to do to provide. And one day I will get more sleep. And one day he won't need this. But for right now, this is what works for the both of us. And this is what's getting us through it, kind of a thing. But our midwives always gave very helpful advice. So we felt very prepared. But just went into it. I needed to be as nourished as I possibly could be, both in an actual nutrient sense and in an emotionally and mentally sense as well. Just I needed to be strong in all senses so that my family could be strong. Like I needed to be the sound core.
Yeah, definitely. I think we got pretty good advice from our midwife too. There was a lot of communicating in those first, I guess, couple weeks. I don't know. Maybe we just didn't have like as much of a plan as you guys did, but I think that's definitely how did you feel like you nourished yourself besides like physically? Like how are you getting nourishment like otherwise?
Mentally.
Mentally, emotionally, all the things.
It was, I think it helped this being my second round, so I was aware that this didn't last forever. So just really, and I had to remind myself to be present. And like I said, it still was challenging because I felt like I was missing out on stuff, but I had to keep reminding myself, this is going to go so fast. You know this. And to be present. So it helped me to really embrace and be happy in those moments a lot. And honestly, I started reading from the Bible a lot too, especially when it was a night where baby did not want to sleep. And I was just, all right, we're going to read scripture. And I would just sit and read.
Perfect.
And that was honestly very grounding for me too.
That's really cool.
So it was just reminding myself, you need to love it because you're going to miss it. And you do love it at the same time. You do love these moments. It's hard, but it's so fast and it's all worth it. And then, I think just God's word just helped. Yeah. I remember I can still feel it. Like I was in the rocker and just after reading a few pages, I just felt very grounded. And then baby was asleep by then. And I was like, wow, that was just amazing. Cool. But you can prepare, you can't really plan. So because like we've been saying, every baby's different, so every postpartum is going to be different. So you could plan, and it's just not a guarantee how it's going to go. So you just kind of gotta, and I think that's what I did too, thinking about it. I just kind of let go. Like I said, I was a leaf. I just rolled with the punches. I allowed myself to feel the emotions, and then I think that helped with the processing. Like take it, feel it, and then just let it out.
What will you two do differently if you have another kid? What's your main things you're going to change?
In postpartum?
And then I have another question.
Wow.
I think the sleeping arrangements, I'm going to not put pressure on myself to do it a certain way and to not let stereotypes or like, not stereotypes, but like, I don't know, judgment, other people's judgments affect what I do. Because like you said, Kennedy, like you kind of know what's best for your baby and what you're comfortable with. And if I were to have just gone with my gut, I think she would have slept a lot better, a lot sooner. So I think I would just do that more in most areas. Just go with my gut and not worry about it.
Gut health is good, man.
It's true. I would also probably take more. I didn't take any supplements really, to be honest.
I mean, you kept taking your.
I took my prenatal. I kept taking my prenatal, but that was it.
And iron, and some blood builder or something.
Oh yeah,
yes.
But I was also taking that during pregnancy. I just kept taking what I was taking. I didn't add anything, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I mean, that's better than nothing. But I remember now, my midwife was like, "It's really important to take your omega-3s because this is why we have mom brain is because baby is sucking, taking so much from you. It's like you got to
Yes.
replace the fats that are being
It's so
just
true.
drank away.
Danny, what would you do differently
I don't
from
think
your
I'd do too much
POV?
differently. To be honest, like you said, Kennedy, like you can't really plan too much.
Mhm.
I think like in preparation, like maybe just have like a million different options for sleeping, so that way, if one doesn't work, then I think that was like the most underprepared we were. Was like we had some things, but like we didn't have everything ready and laid out and like prepared for like different options of sleeping. For
Yeah.
ourselves and her,
Something we also did that was really helpful that we will do again, and it's so random, but we just bought a bunch of like paper plates and like paper
Oh my
like
gosh.
cups and stuff. So we had like no
Mhm.
dishes for the first like 3
Wow,
weeks.
that is big.
I didn't think it'd work out
It was
that
a
well, but it
great
was so helpful.
move.
Yeah.
Because I
Honestly.
hate dirty dishes
Yeah.
so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to do differently for next one, hun?
Oh.
If we have a third.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dude.
I hope I'm a little more patient and give myself a little more grace. Grace still. So just really, and I think I will get better with every time. So if I get hit with like the strong feelings again, or I'm like feeling stir crazy or whatever, I'd like to think I will like focus on the moments and absorbing that limited time even more so. But I think overall, I think that's about it. Maybe take even more supplements. I don't even know. But
Oh my,
I
even
felt
more.
pretty good. And I'm happy we had, food prepped. Yeah, I don't know. What about you, Trev? You haven't shared too much from your side.
Thinking about it, I would want, because I had a lot with the first kid, like skin to skin. I don't think I had as
Mm.
much skin to skin with the second one, just because of how much I was having to take care of the older one.
Yeah.
I also know I probably took more photos of the first one than the second one of like me so I truly like my thing is as you divide and conquer to live when you have more than one and now you're not the food supply, so you kind of have to take care of the rest of the house and the older kid.
Mhm.
So it was interesting, like a lot of factors I think played into. I immediately had like like I love both my kids the same, and it's crazy how much I love them both. But with the first one, it was almost more of a feeling, like not, and I don't like think of love as a feeling. So like it was almost like this weird feeling of like, this is my kid, I gotta take care of it, it needs to survive. Like this feeling of like over feeling on the first one. So with the second one, I didn't get as much time with him as the first. So like it's almost been this more growing love as it's gone on. And so if we go into it again, I would like to try to carve out more time where I get more time with them at a younger stage, because I think there's just so many different things that like contributed to me. I don't want to say like I did, because I loved them all the same. Like I don't want to be like I didn't love them as much as the first, because that's not
Just didn't
true.
feel it all at once. Like, yeah, like it was a slower, I don't know, like
Now it's like I look at him and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my little buddy, like and stuff like that. And like and he's a little more active now because we're getting closer to 4 months. But like I don't know how to explain it necessarily in perfect words, but overall, I would want to spend a little bit more time, more skin to skin on that.
Yes, Danny, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. In the
Yes,
upper left
yes.
corner.
I just wanted to did and I have no idea. Like with I guess the older one isn't breastfeeding, but
Nope.
did you for the first one? Did you like when
I bottle fed, if that's what you're asking.
you did?
So
like
yeah,
really young.
yeah. Which I remember
Like from the beginning,
No,
you
I don't know.
pumped and fed her.
No.
We haven't fed the other, like the second one at all with a bottle.
We haven't fed the other one.
We haven't fed the other one. He's doing
No.
great.
Guys, I don't have
No.
any favorites, but we
No,
haven't fed the other one at all.
I don't know. He do something. No, the first one, yeah. So, and that was actually a big thing. I think now that I remember too, is like I personally felt bummed, to put it lightly, that like I felt like I wasn't providing anything and doing anything for the older one. And I think I got over that, but like I think I had some of that emotional drain too.
Did you feel like that, Danny? Because we didn't bottle at all either for like months and months.
I did. I didn't feel as connected
Right.
to the baby for the first week or so because it was like, they're relying on you for sustenance,
Yeah. I also think that kind of made me not feel close to you though, because I was like, how could you not like she was like everything, like everything. And like I was like, how are you not bonded? Like, what's going on? And I wasn't judging you at all because I've heard that from many dads, but I was just like, now I don't like. It's almost like I have a new best friend like in the group, like and like if you're not gonna bond with her, like sorry, I'm choosing her right now. You're like in that first week or whatever. So, but I mean, obviously, it grows and it changes. And it's great, but it was just so weird how immediately our relationship was just so different, and it's all normal.
Yeah. Well, I even got some of that with our oldest when we were separated in different rooms. I felt like the oldest one was really becoming close with Trevor, and I was losing my special bond with him a little bit because I didn't see him nearly as much. So I think that, it happened, but we naturally just converged again. So now I feel like everyone has a solid relationship with everyone, and everyone has a special relationship. So I think it's just
it took
it's just part of the course.
Longer for the older one, I think, to adapt to the second one than I was expecting. That was interesting too, to see the dynamic of him kind of adjusting to another person in the house. And I think it took a lot longer for him to get comfortable around the second than I was anticipating. I'm just repeating myself, but
I wonder if that's because we were like bedridden, so to speak, for so long. Like if he and I were out more, and so the oldest was forced to socialize more in a sense, if that would have sped it up. Or if it was like an out of sight, out of mind. So and maybe it was even like you took mom away for so much. I was just
going to say that. Like
there was some of that. Because we definitely saw some jealousy. Like he would do little kicks at whoever was holding the baby.
He would also like I wouldn't want to say fake, but like fake get hurt and stuff like that for attention.
Oh, that's right.
He would do stuff to try to get attention too, which so like balancing like how much attention you give both kids is a challenge. Before we get too way off, because the other question I had was just for Danny. How did you support Sierra with her emotional challenges?
Jeez, just grilling into me. My God.
Well, I had to do the same thing in the second one. Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to answer, Trev.
I didn't. You just suffered.
Like you were in the bedroom. I don't know.
There was me and the eldest out here. You guys can figure it out in there. You have each other.
You got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, TV all day. Let's go.
I think emotionally, I mean, Sarah already mentioned it, but like we connected a lot for the first couple weeks, just with that early morning time when it was just like baby was just waking up. She wasn't too fussy, but like almost like in that good mood or stage. So I think during that it was like a lot of like, hey, how you doing? Like just checking up, like catching up after the day. You got some sleep, hopefully, so you feel a little more rested and relaxed. I think besides that, it's more just like making sure that you're there for her. I mean, physically, like doing chores or whatever, small stuff between like taking out the trash or, doing extra diaper change here and there. I think it's just like the combination. As long as I personally was like, it was a lot on my mind because like I said, I wasn't as connected to the baby for the first couple of weeks. I didn't feel like I could. Like I didn't realize that babies don't smile right away usually, so I was like,
that is such a big thing for you. You said that so many times.
I don't know, it was just like I did so
it's interesting.
Because of that I didn't feel like I was interacting with her as much. It was more just like she would just look at me.
Yeah.
I was like, hi.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah.
What is this?
It's like, isn't there like a sound that's like, and he looked at me and I looked at him or
Yeah.
something like that on like reels? That's like you and the baby. 100%. It's like you don't know what they're thinking. You don't feel as connected, but you were definitely there.
No, absolutely. But I think
And
that just because of that, I was like, I might as well go above and beyond and like make sure you're good while I'm at it, So
thanks.
Before I answer,
That's good.
Sierra, what did you need from him, or like, what did you need from him? Maybe he gave it to you, or maybe he didn't. And
Yeah.
like, what kind of what he said? What was the best thing that he did that helped you emotionally?
Mm. I think I needed he did do a good job like taking care of things physically, like around the house and stuff, and also being there for me. But I also think that, and I don't even know if this would have been possible, but we had like no, like we didn't even like hug or have any like physical contact because it was like so just ships passing in the night. Like there was no time.
Mm.
Like I'm sure we hugged a couple times or whatever, but like I remember thinking like I don't remember the last time we like ever even cuddled like at
Mm.
all. Like
Mm.
It's been
and
4 years.
so it's been 84 years. I just think like yeah, it was just weird. We never snuggled and we weren't sleeping in the same room, and so
Yeah.
that was really, really hard for me because I
Ugh.
always like needed him to even just
Mhm.
fall asleep. And so I obviously didn't anymore because I was so tired and focusing on the baby, but I miss the physical like just closeness
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
for sure. But I also think I had some like weird complications postpartum a little bit and
Yeah.
healing wise, and so basically long story short I just had an infection that could have gotten really bad and it
Mhm.
almost did and they thought it did and then it wasn't, thank God, but
Mm.
like it was really traumatic. And
Yeah.
I think Danny was really good in that situation because he was really just like really good checks and balances of what's reality, like what's really going on. And so for me to be like, do I need to be worried about this? And him to be like, no. And for me to trust that was really important because otherwise I
Mhm.
would have just
Yeah.
spiraled.
I'm
But
off the deep end.
that's a kind of a unique, like specific situation. But yeah, did great. How about you guys?
Sheesh, what did I do to help Kennedy? I
Or in the first one.
she wasn't very emotional in the first one. It wasn't like that.
Yeah,
So
it
it came as
wasn't.
a complete shock
Mm.
to me that I had to deal with this to begin with. Like,
Were you more emotional than her?
during the first one, no, I don't think I was really more emotional. But like the second one, I wasn't anticipating her to be emotional because like the first one wasn't like that.
Mm.
So like that was just the turn of events. So like I honestly don't. That's why I asked the question because like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I didn't help at all. Maybe I'm a horrible person.
Well,
But like,
Danny, like, did I share with you like my deep, because I feel like a lot of the crazy emotions happen in the middle of the night when I was just like
mhm.
up.
Right.
And I don't
Yeah.
even know if I even expressed it all to you ever.
No, like
Mm.
Like, I don't
I
even think I
think
told you
it
much
was more
about it.
so just
So,
like I could tell like you were stressed about a certain thing or just in general and
how would that play out for you guys? Like, would I mean, I had my fair share of just breaking down in tears randomly. Like, is that kind of what it was like? And then Trevor was like, "What's going on?" Or like, how was it?
Because like I don't think you broke down in tears like a few times. I think a few
I
times,
think
and
there
I was
was
just trying to
one.
remember. Like I feel like what I did was like kind of what Danny did was just reassure you that it's okay. And I think a lot of it was like the passage of time, like you mentioned. So like reassuring you,
Mhm.
the oldest one's still little. We still have a ton of time. We had, and like going back and almost showing photos and videos of all that time we had with him. I feel like
Oh.
maybe helped because like I remember like talking about yes, passage of time's a thing, but think of all those great times we did have, And I
Mhm.
remember trying to pull from the past almost to make it
Yeah.
okay in that moment. But maybe that's not what I did. So
Mm.
like that's just what is in my head. I don't know. Kennedy, go.
I would. Okay, I'm going. No, you were really good, and yeah, have been really good with trying to ground me in that sense. Just get my feet back on the ground. So, for example, with our first one, I was obviously terrified of SIDS, and you were just like, and you also are very just black and white. You're just like, let's say God takes him early. Just think of all this time we had with him, and we don't even deserve it. So you're just always there to remind me of just how blessed every moment is, no matter how scary or hard it is. So no matter what happens, to just, trust in God's plan and just live in the moment and be just forever grateful. So that was the first one. So this one, yes, I think the emotions definitely hit you by surprise. I mean, they hit me by surprise. And I just remembered because the time, so yeah, it was late October he was born. So by then the days were super short. And I remember feeling anxiety when the night would come. Like, oh, it's going to be a long night. I'm actually scared. And it got really hard in the nights, like before bed and stuff. And I do remember one night where I was probably on the verge of like a breakdown. Like I remember feeling like I guess it would have been drowning in emotions. I think it was I just had like hit a max. So it was just, it all came at once. And Trevor, I think you were almost, which was still good. You were almost, I could have used, I think, a softer approach, but you're just like, you really need to get it together. And you weren't saying it in a mean sense, but it's like, it was, our oldest one's here. He doesn't understand why mom is so upset. Not that like, don't ever show your emotions, but it's like, you need to breathe, like, just try to work through it. Because I remember I like opened a window and I was not like hyperventilating, but I was like breathing in fresh air to try to
I remember that a little bit. I also I probably could have gone a sweeter approach. Maybe not my strong suit, but like the other sense of that too, like you have to remain calm because the little one really feels your emotion. So like,
yes,
he knows.
So you were concerned for him, like
more
you didn't
than
want
the
him to
older
start getting
one.
upset.
Yeah, because not necessarily upset, but like I don't want to put that stress on a little guy type of thing. Like you need
the little one,
yeah,
or the
little one. Well, I mean both, but I think the little one is really connected with you in that sense. Is more than the older one because like you guys are like,
interesting.
in my opinion, I remember that a little bit, but yeah, okay, gentler approach, got it. Then just get your act together, pull it together. You're the captain of the ship. I'm just the first mate. I can't be leading us into the storm.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So no, I think next time we need more just family time, even if we're all chilling in the bedroom. I just thought of it too, and I want to share it real quick. One difference, and it was very small, but it was just really weird. So this time around, and TMI a little bit, I got what's called, and it's the funniest name, a milk bleb.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Not the
So-
bleb. Ugh.
So that was like, so obviously comfort nursing like around the clock. And I'm like, oh, I guess this one side just had too much. It'll go away. And it just never went away. And it was like, what's happening? This is different. And then, so that was interesting. So it's just when there's too much milk and the milk duct gets a little clogged, but it's not painful. At least it wasn't for me.
Yeah, the blebs aren't painful.
No,
Yeah.
but you gotta pop them, and it's interesting. It's interesting.
I
little
don't know
sore.
what's happening right now.
I don't know, man. There was also so many. Well, yeah, breastfeeding is just a whole. We could talk for like an hour and a half about that. But yeah, there's just so much. But
You two gals can have a breastfeeding episode.
Yeah, we can do that later.
I need to be there for that one.
Danny was there the whole time. He's seen everything. He's been
All the
through it with
blebs.
me.
All the blebs.
All the
Did you have multiple blebs?
No,
That's a weird word.
I don't know. I also just like the whole like infection thing. They kind of like my midwife like basically told me. I told her my symptoms, and she told me over text that it was mastitis, probably. So I was thinking it was that, but like it wasn't that painful. And so I was thinking mastitis was like super painful. And I think it is. I don't think it ended up being that anyway. And so it was just a whole thing. But then after that, I was so paranoid, like every day, like, do I have like any pain or like any like ache? I'd be like, is it happening? Like,
This is it.
and also this is so sad, but or not sad, but just it was sad kind of at the time.
Yeah.
Baby like had a little blister on her lip from
Yeah.
nursing wrong, and it was like so
Aw.
sad. And I was like, I don't know what to do because like you have to eat, and I couldn't
Right.
tell sometimes if it was a blister or just the way her lip was, like that little part at the top of your lip. And so yeah, I had like someone, one of the lactation people like saw her and was like, oh, that's a blister, like you need to do something. And I was like, like I don't know. So you're just winging it, you don't have no idea what's going on.
Oh yeah.
One of the, and I don't want to get like on a darker note here as we're getting close to wrap her up, but like some of the worst moments were like when they're sick and I would just like sit there and pray, like, just give me all the disease, just take it away from them, put it on me, I can handle it. These little guys do not, and that was just like I
Well, they
always
do, but it just seems so
yeah,
much
I
harder.
mean, they bounce
Yeah,
back
harder.
better than I do, but like most of the time, but
It's literally like when she had sniffles. Like
my
I think she was only like 2 months old. It was scary because I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, this is gonna get worse. But it didn't. She just had sniffles, and we got so sick. Like we were
Yeah, right.
dying. Like it was so bad, and she was totally fine. She just
Yeah.
has stuffy nose.
they do better
I
than
was
you do,
like,
but like,
all right.
it's
I
still
prayed
the
that
worst.
prayer, and I was like, maybe it worked. Like, I got this thing
maybe I did take it.
I'm like, maybe just make it go away altogether.
I didn't need all of it.
Yeah, I was like, maybe just It was so rough. But
She's so cute. She'll always be like,
yeah, she was like sniffing.
Oh, just
when she doesn't
Yeah.
understand, she's like, why can't I breathe properly?
I
Like,
know it was
Baby.
that even just little sniffles
yeah.
was really sad. So
But
I can only
it would trigger
imagine
her.
whenever she gets actually sick. Oh, no.
The first time we were all sick at the time, but the first time the eldest got like really sick, and he was 2, I think, at the time, so a little older, and like threw up. That is heartbreaking.
Horrible.
Heartbreaking. Because he didn't know what was going on. That's like the scariest thing.
Yeah.
He's looking at me to be like, "What's going on, Dad?" I'm like, "You're gonna be okay. We just got again."
No.
Again, just get it together, boy.
It.
Just get it. I just a tough love. No, I was very compassionate, and but he
He
didn't.
did.
know.
He did great.
That's good.
But anyways, positive
Yeah.
notes. Biggest blessings ever, kids, for me. Anyways, anytime I'm at work or anytime I'm having a tough day, like I can just look at both of them and just know that it's okay. And just I think to myself, man, I am super blessed to have these kids in my life. And I mean, the wife for the matter is too. But it's different because again, I view love differently. Like I chose this person. Like I didn't get to choose these two kids, and so like the love is just completely different.
Yeah.
And it's
like they didn't get to
unconditional.
choose you. It's like they're just there.
Right.
Like one of the moments, I don't even know if I told you this, Danny, but again, like, but one of the like long emotional nights, like I just remember staring at her sleeping, and I was just like, she does, like, I could literally cry right now talking about it. Like she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know anything, and I have to teach her everything. And like she's just here, and she's just trying her best. And she's just looking to me for like everything, and it was just like. Oh my goodness. Like this is the coolest and sometimes scariest thing ever, but it's just so special. It's so special.
No, it's true. And then they grow and they just love you unconditionally. And they're so, I don't know if desperate's the right word, but they just want, not that you don't have a relationship with them, but they want a relationship with you so bad. Like you could be mad at them and they're not going to be like, oh, F you. Like they'll just be like,
I mean,
bouncing right
the
back
eldest
and
one
stuff.
is getting some attitude at almost 3, but yes.
But what I'm saying, it doesn't turn him away.
No.
They are like always coming back because they love you so much.
Perfect example of that is like if he's like doing something like throwing or hitting or something like that, and we have to like kind of like no, we don't do that. He doesn't do it too much. He used to run to his room and like and just be in there for a little bit and then come out with like a stuffed animal or a book and just be like, look what I found. Like nothing ever happened. Like he forgot that he got in trouble, and now he just wants to show us something. And it's like,
He's
all
just
right.
trying to like move on
Yeah, it's
really
like,
quick.
that's in the past, guys. I don't know why you're
Let's
still
not worry
upset
about
it.
that.
It's
I
like,
know
what?
I punched you in the eye.
I found this thing. And you don't want to talk about this? Like,
That's why I went into the room when the first. I wasn't
Yeah.
upset. I had to go get this.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Oh.
cute.
Well, I guess to finish it off, and it's totally fine if no one does. Do you guys have any words of wisdom or just tips or anything you would personally pass along to any parents currently in it or expecting, just something to help get through?
You're very blessed to have this opportunity, even just to look at these things, these kids.
These things.
But like one thing I really have been trying to do more lately is just talking to them when you're putting them to sleep at night. You know, tell them about the day, ask them about the day, and obviously one can communicate back. But even the little guy, like, you know, say a little prayer or talk about something. I don't know, or just say thank you, or I don't know. What are you gonna dream about tonight? That's a really fun conversation to have with the older one too. But something like
That's
that. Just a
cute.
little moment. Enjoy the little
Yeah.
things.
I think for me, just don't forget that they're like a little person. Like, you know, it's so easy to get into a routine, especially when they're so little babies, that you kind of almost, they're like, you're like, oh, they won't notice if I'm just like on my phone or like watching a show or something while they like eat or something. And like sometimes that's totally fine, but like just take moments to like connect with them, and they want your attention and your yeah, and just remember they're a little person. Like treat them like a human, not just like a little pet or something. I don't know. Like it can be really easy to be like, oh, they're just a little pet here. Like I just feed them and bathe them and walk, like, you know. But it's like they observe and know so much more than you think. So
And then they choose to not know it when they don't want to know it.
yeah, basically they're watching you at all times. So get it together. You know, that's really the lesson of this whole episode.
Get your
Get
get
yourself
together.
together.
Love. Pull it together.
I think my advice would be similar to what you were saying earlier, Sarah, is like advice is advice, you know, and like a lot of it, especially when you're first time parent, you know, your first kid, a lot of it's unsolicited advice, and sometimes people almost like, you know, either not make fun of you, but like, you know, will just say things a little bit like, oh, like you should do this, or you must do this, you know. And it's like, you know, like you were saying, Kennedy, like you should have a little more of like your intuition, but just feel comforted that like it doesn't last forever, you know. Like it's a good thing in multiple ways, you know, like your kid's gonna grow up and change, and you know, just live in that moment and be aware and be present, and you know, don't be on your phone, or you know, spend time with them, say little things to them. But you know, if you are going through a hard time, it won't last that long, you know. Like 2 weeks, like it's crazy. Like people say, oh, the first 2 weeks are the hardest, but like, you know, you think it's definitely hard once you're going through it, but 2 weeks is over just like that. So even if it is hard,
I think though too, okay, I want to say this to Kennedy's like time passing thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, that is very sad. And I also feel that way. But I also, something that like comforted me when I would think about that, and maybe this isn't helpful at all, but I would just think like, it's a good normal thing that time is passing. Like you want it to pass.
Yes.
Like she's going, or he is going to like grow up, and you want him to be a toddler, and that's amazing. And so like, yeah, like you said, as long as you're doing your best to enjoy the moment in everything it is, good and bad, and like remember it, soak it in, take it in, and be like, okay, move on. And you can even grieve it. Like, I'm sad that it's not here anymore, and that's normal too, but it's all normal, and it's supposed to happen like that. That's how life is supposed to be. So for me, that comforts me a little bit, because it's like, all right, it's just how things in life are the way they are. It's like, and I know this is so deep, we're getting so deep, but like,
I love it.
like people bad things do happen to good people. People pass
Mhm.
away. Like, but it's like, okay, say someone grows old and they pass away. It's like, that's normal. That's
Mhm.
supposed to happen.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, it's just life. You know, you're
Yeah.
experiencing life, and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yes. It's
Profound.
no, no, that's all very true. I don't even know what to share. Like, as you guys
Just
covered
do
it
it.
all. No, I
Just
think
do it.
I never felt this way, but I know it's a very common feeling, and I totally get where it comes from. But the anger that can come up, it like towards your baby, like because you are exhausted and you are drained, or it's a night where nothing works. Like, and I know it's probably silly to say, and I think everyone understands it, but still to remind yourself, like, baby isn't doing this to deliberately make your life hard.
Yeah.
And again, temporary. Even thinking 2 weeks, at least for me, 2 weeks seems so short. But it's just baby needs you, and it's all gonna work out. And if you trust yourself and you just kind of surrender to the time, no matter how hard it is, it just I think it'll be a little easier to get through. Not that it's gonna be a breeze, but it just if you just okay, like Sierra said, like this is how it works, or this is also my journey. This is how my postpartum journey or this moment's supposed to play out. So I'm just gonna embrace it. But yeah, I'll never stress enough just how much you need to just really be in the moment. And I was too in the moment to where I didn't take enough pictures. I still have pictures, but I could have gotten more. But just really just like their toes and their fingers, or even like, and I forgot after the first one. So when the second one was born, I remembered like the little, what do you call it? The little, not creases, but their ears. They have a little bent part in their ears. Like it's not fully rounded on top. I was like, I forgot that. Like there's just so many precious little details that they just grow out of. So just, oh my gosh, be a sponge and just soak it all in. Because it's way too fast. You have a baby for a long time. You don't have a newborn for a long time at all.
I mean, the kid changes every week or 2 weeks. You can have a kid 1 week and the next week it'll be a different kid. So
my goodness. Yeah.
Guys, thank you for joining us on today's episode. We do hope you found the conversation either helpful or encouraging, or just took some positive piece away from it. It's really a very important topic, and we're very grateful to have the opportunity to share it with you and some of our insight and our wisdom. But just as a little closing note, just remember, if you're in the thick of it, you really are doing an amazing job. It's not for the faint of heart. It is hard, and you're doing a lot and then some, but you're doing really good. And just, it's not forever. You got it, and it's worth it. And it goes by in hindsight really fast. So just keep chugging. We're cheering you on. You could do it. We know it.
Little train that could.
Choo-choo. And also I think, there's just lots of resources out there if you ever need help in any sense. So just, you're not alone. So reach out if you ever need anything. Anyways, if you like the episode, share it with others you feel would resonate with the message. But we really appreciate you listening, and we will catch you next time. So bye.
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 Hey guys, it's your girl Kennedy wrapping up today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. We're so happy and we're so grateful that you hung out with us today. If you liked what you heard, please share this podcast far and wide, and follow us here and on social media so you never miss an episode. Also, we would love to know your thoughts and if you have any topics you'd like us to chat about. So let us know. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!